What's up guys, it's me LankyB. So recently I was thinking that Halo Infinite's right around the corner, and I was actually wondering what weapons have been cut from Halo in the past and might actually be added back into the new game. It's pretty amazing to think that there's so many different weapons which have been added in different Halo games and have for some reason been cut from the future installments. But hopefully with Halo Infinite returning to a classic form of Halo, we should actually get to see a few of these returning weapons. So something that I actually did for this is make a vote in our Discord. If you want to join a Discord, it's actually down below. You can see the invite link down there. We actually made a little bit of a poll in the Discord to see what kind of weapons people wanted back for weapons which have been cut from Halo 5 and hopefully will be added into Halo Infinite. It's actually pretty interesting to see what weapons people want back. So without further ado, this is my top 5 list of the weapons we want to return into Halo Infinite. So here are the rules of the list. If it's appeared in Halo 5 as a weapon which you can actually use, then it is not counted into this list. And the player must have been able to use it in the previous Halo game, so if there's some weird concept art for a weapon, unfortunately that won't be counted. So in at number 5, this is the Discord's choice, the most voted weapon by the players. Again, you can join the Discord down below if you want to vote, is actually the Needling Rifle. So I was super surprised by this weapon actually returning. I didn't realise that the players really wanted this one to come back. However, it was first introduced in Halo Reach, and that's the only game that it's actually made an appearance. Now in Halo Reach, we didn't have a BR, we had a DMR, so we didn't have a carbine, instead we had a Needling Rifle. And it really worked as quite a long range weapon, a bit longer range than the DMR, fired a bit faster similar to the carbine, but it could actually super combine you if it got 3 shots on the player's body when their shield was broken. Personally, it was one of my favourite weapons, and what made it pretty cool was you could hold down the trigger and it would fire automatically, and in the title update version of Halo Reach, it's actually a pretty formidable weapon with so much more range than the DMR, but it's slightly lower kill time, or at least it feels that way. In Halo Infinite, I feel that it would be awesome to see this weapon alongside the carbine, working as a bit of a longer range weapon, but maybe having a slightly longer kill time as well. It would be pretty interesting for it to fill the role that the DMR has filled in Halo 5, however it would just be pretty cool to see it. There was actually a requisition version of the carbine which also could super combine players, so obviously they're thinking about this weapon, hopefully it does make a return. So in at number 4, we actually have one of my personal picks, again from Halo Reach, it's the Plasma Launcher. Now the Plasma Launcher again made only one appearance in Halo Reach, however it did kind of make an appearance in Halo 5 as a weapon which a grunt could hold. It was in Firefight back when Firefight was the brand new thing. However, this was kind of a glitch, we never really got to see it, it never was a playable weapon which the player could pick up. So it kind of makes the list just as the main exception. This is the closest one to not being allowed. Now really the Plasma Launcher in my eyes isn't that good of a weapon. It's not too good against players when they're shooting at you, or right against vehicles. Actually I think that's the main purpose, it's meant to take out vehicles. And if you don't know how it works, it charges up and it can fire 4 plasma grenades which work out as kind of like missiles which lock onto players, lock onto vehicles, and it just fires away and slowly tracks the players. I feel that this was one of the most fun additions to Halo Reach because it was so fun to see a little plasma grenade flying over the map to try and chase somebody down, and I'd actually like to see it make a return. It's more fun to have weapons which are based up against the vehicles. However, it's also fun to use against players when they don't see you coming. This weapon was also quite popular in the Discord vote, so hopefully it does make a return. It's one I'd like to see personally make a return, so 343, please make it happen. Now in at number 3, this is one of my favourite ones as well. I absolutely hate that it only made an appearance in one Halo game. It's the Sticky Detonator. The Sticky Detonator made its appearance in Halo 4 and kind of replaced the grenade launcher. It was such a weird case. It was so awesome to like plant it around the corner and wait for a player to run around to chase after you to detonate it right in their face. It was such a fun weapon. You could stick it to vehicles, you could stick it to teammates and let them run it until you can get a kill. Ridiculously fun to use. In fact, I actually remember on my birthday when we had this, we had 16 people in the lobby, and how it worked was I stuck the person standing to my right, so he stuck the person standing to his right, and in a big circle, and then I just detonated it, and it was kind of like blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. That's just a really nice memory which I had personally. However, this got removed in Halo 5 and it never got added back, which really has confused me. Now obviously we have the grenade launcher, the Reach grenade launcher in Halo 5 and in Halo Reach, which, you know, it made a return, but we never got the Sticky Detonator. I always thought it would be some kind of requisition for it, and it's just mad. How did this weapon get forgot? I have no idea. Now in Halo 5 we did get a bit of a combination with this weapon with a plasma caster that could be used to stick players, and in fact that's actually kind of like the new version of the plasma launcher really, which I probably should have mentioned. However, It's nowhere near as good as the sticky detonator. There's just something about that weapon which feels so fun to use, so satisfying, and I hope that weapon does make a return. Now in at number 2, this is a very popular one to come back. It's the Flamethrower. Now the Flamethrower actually made its debut in Halo 1, which is pretty amazing, but it was only a PC weapon alongside the fuel rod. Honestly, it was quite a cool weapon and you can actually play it in the MCC now, but it was so fun to use. You just carried it around like it was a normal weapon, and it's so strange to actually see this in Halo. It doesn't fit in some way, but then in Halo 3 they brought it in and it just works. It's such a good anti-flood weapon. It's just really fun to use, and although it's not the best weapon, it's not the most practical, it does really do its job when you're in close range, and it's just so fun to use. It's kind of like that weapon which you always go and pick up even though you know it's not that good, but you just love using it and you can somehow get kills when you're not meant to. That's the Flamethrower, and I kind of like the turret version of it where you're moving it around like it's a big turret. It's a big heavy weapon. That's kind of how I like to use it. Now the chance of this coming back is actually pretty low. However, the flood's coming back in Halo Infinite, at least we hope it is. It'd be pretty fun to see this come back as well. I've got some great memories of the Flamethrower and using it on some maps on Halo 3. And Halo 3 wasn't really my favourite Halo game, however the Flamethrower gave me some great memories, and hopefully it can do exactly the same on Halo Infinite. Now in at number 1, this is definitely my pick for what weapon I want to see added, and it was rated pretty high in the Discord, which surprised me. It's the Bootshot, also known by some RVB fans as the Shot. Now this weapon made its debut in Halo 2, and it also got brought back for Halo 3, but we never actually got to see it again. It didn't make an appearance in Halo Reach, it didn't come in Halo 4, it didn't come in Halo 5, and it was such a shame that this really, what I would say an iconic weapon, got removed, more or less alongside with the Brute. What made this weapon so unique in Halo 2 wasn't that it was like just firing some really quick grenades, because the weapon wasn't the best. It could kill somebody in 2 shots, maybe 3 shots, you know. But it was the melee. This thing had a massive blade on it, swing at somebody and you could get an instant melee kill on somebody if you hit him on the side, or even on the front sometimes if they didn't punch back. It was such a fun weapon to use, and it had a dual purpose to it. In Halo 3 they removed the instant melee effects of the Brute Shot, but gave it 2 extra grenades and a slower fire rate, so it was more usable, more controllable. But really, it's such a fun weapon, and I have no idea why it was moved, other than the fact that we didn't really have brutes and it is more brute weapon. I mean, we had weapons like the concussion rifle, which did make a return in Halo 4, and there wasn't any brutes in that game, so why couldn't we have it in Halo Infinite? I honestly don't see any reason, especially with a Banished hopefully returning in Halo Infinite, for this weapon to actually make a return. I'd love to see the Brute Shot. I'd love to have the Halo 2 version where this thing can melee extra hard. Really, I think that would be pretty damn cool if we could see it. This was rated very high on the Discord as well. I was really surprised that it got as many votes and so many people shared the same opinion as me. And obviously, this is called the Shot for a reason. It's Griff's favourite weapon, or like signature weapon in the RVB series. So it would be cool to actually see him use what he calls the Shot again. I'm not too sure what to say. It's just such an iconic weapon and I really do love it. And I hope they actually bring it back. So that's our top 5 list for weapons which we actually want to see return. I'm quickly going to go and look at the vote to see what were the honourable mentions really. So honourable mentions actually include the Mauler, which was voted for by 2 people. The Mauler is the Brute's shotgun, kind of like a one-handed shotgun. You could dual wield them in Halo 3. They're pretty cool weapons. I feel they're a bit underwhelming, which is why they didn't make the list, but they are pretty cool. And we can't leave things out like the plasma rifle, the classic one. I know we had the Brute plasma rifle return in Halo 5, but it would be nice to have the classic one return just for the purpose that it looks absolutely fantastic. It's such an iconic weapon, and it has such a different purpose to the Storm Rifle. Really, I'd love to see it at least return. It's fun to dual wield these as well, and it's great for elites. And finally, I almost mentioned this when talking about the Brute Shot. The Concussion Rifle, it was in Halo 4, it was in Halo Reach. I'm not too sure if it was in Halo 3. However, it just got removed somehow in Halo 5, it never got added back, and it's honestly a shame. It's quite an iconic weapon, and I do quite like to see it, so hopefully it returns. But what's your list? What do you guys think should have been added? Did we miss out any weapons? What weapons would you like to see return in Halo Infinite? Also, don't forget to join the Discord down below. You can talk to a lot of people in the same community, and also actually take part in some of these votes where you can decide which weapons get added into the list. Next, we're going to be doing something related to armor abilities and what kind of new armor abilities we'd like to see added into Halo Infinite. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.